There. My name is Patty Lewis Groom. I live on Redlands Mesa. My husband and I have a 20-acre apple orchard. And the economic benefits of resource extractions are real, but the negative costs in community health, damage to air and water, wildlife habitat, and real estate and quality of life far outweigh the economic benefits. I first want to thank Theo Colbrin for all of her hard work over the years on endocrine disruption and keeping us informed about some of the health things that have been going on. It is no coincidence now that there are now cancer clinics in every major town with a hospital. Cancer rates are higher than ever. I just happened to look in the obituaries this week in our local paper, and there were 3 people under 50 who had died of cancer. And it's happening to younger and younger people all the time. And I don't know why we're not connecting the dots. How long do we continue to turn our backs on this toxic polluting industry, or any toxic polluting industry for that matter? How long do we continue to make choices that lead us to cancer? And how long do we have to watch this terrible disease ravage our communities and our families? I don't know why we're not talking about this more, because ruining your air, your water, and your food, I think I learned in about 2nd grade that was pretty darn important. And so I don't really get it. So I'm deeply disturbed about our future here in Delta County, and of course I'm against all 22 parcels. I fear that we may become the next Garfield County. And they didn't know what hit them. That was a long time ago. But we, through experience, like Garfield, know differently and can make different choices. Fracking is now illegal in France, and there's a reason for that. We have been asking for chemical disclosure for years, and only now are we beginning to see rules pertaining to closure. We have evaporation pits containing carcinogenic chemicals that do just that. They evaporate. So what really ends up blowing over our land? The oil and gas industry has been allowed to run rampant. They cut as many corners as possible to maximize profits. They have not taken responsibility for their actions, and they have contaminated water, air, noise, odor, wildlife habitat, real estate values, and plenty of other things. There's another side just that's practical. We live in an area often plagued by drought. Last summer, the industry was flaring. They were burning off gas up on Upper Surface Creek. We happened to have had a fairly wet summer, but had it been a drought year, the sparks could start a wildfire. We already have big problems with fire during drought times, tons of dust, lots of problems with our air. Anyway, it doesn't make sense. So thank you.
Hi, my name is Illene and I came to the North Fork Valley because my son Lucian and his family and my grandchildren were here, and I love to garden, and I love to be able to buy my food from so many of the local farmers that are here, and I think we are amongst the few people left in this country that can actually buy meat locally that we know has been raised well and treated well, and that it's safe and healthy to eat for us. And I am here to speak because I am so concerned about the threat to our environmental quality that will affect the ability to produce food and the ability for children to grow up well and healthily and the ability for people to retire well and healthily in this region. I had a conversation with a geologist at the BLM, and I'm very grateful for all of the people that are here to listen to our concerns today. Thank you. I called the geologist because I wondered if anybody in the BLM had done any seismic studies of the mountain region to see if earthquakes that could possibly be caused by fracking here could end up releasing the nerve gas that's stored underground in Denver. He said as far as he knew, nobody had ever given any thought to that. He didn't personally think that it was a danger, but no geologist has studied that. And I think that in the state of Colorado, if we are going to be injecting things into the ground, we really have to look at that, because the nerve gas of the United States is stored underground in Denver. Much closer to home, my son is a documentary filmmaker and is in Carbondale. He was called out of the blue on Wednesday by a man who used to work on a gas pad in Garfield County. This man wants him to make a film about what's going on in Garfield County on the gas pads. Again, the geologist at BLM reassured me that all of the gas companies follow strict safety standards. According to the conversation that my son listened to very carefully on Wednesday and reported to me, that is not the truth. These chemicals that the gas companies do not have to report to any of us of what they are using are not labeled. They are in cans. Sometimes those cans are rusty and are leaking. One of the chemicals is so unbelievably poisonous if it's released into the air that people would die immediately breathing it. The workers are carrying alarms around their neck, and if the alarm goes off, they're supposed to run. Surely this is not in accordance with OSHA rules, if there are any OSHA rules. People park their trucks backed in so that if something goes wrong, they can drive forward. They don't have to take the time to back up. Every day they are told to park their trucks backed in. These are not the kind of conditions we need for anybody in our region, and I ask the BLM to not approve any of these parcels for going up for lease. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'd like to thank the panel for joining us today, as well as all of you and your perseverance and your attendance. My name is Sid Lewis, and I'm a trustee and also a resident, of course, of Paonia. I'm here to urge you to put a moratorium on all 22 parcels for lease and sale within the North Fork Valley until an environmental impact statement and not just an EA has been completed. It's obvious the people who now live or visit here have chosen Paonia for its proximity to clean air, water, outdoor recreation, and above all, its people of like-kind interest. This would be in grave danger if fracking were allowed anywhere in this valley. It is a valley of young, hardworking families, as you have heard today, and engaged in farming and startup small businesses, as well as many older and other retirees who are often choosing this valley to enjoy their golden years, not their murky years. My computer is now ready to implode with the amount of info into it concerning the hazards to water, starting with Paonia Reservoir, North Fork of the Gunnison River, its tributaries and streams, its drinking and irrigation water. Indeed, hazards to not only humans, but to animals, wild and domesticated fish and fowl. This valley is nationally famous for its down valley winds almost each and every morning, as well as its up valley winds in the afternoon hours. As you may be aware, there is little or no monitoring done of the air quality within our valley. To protect its citizens from the well-documented hazards of harmful air quality caused by fracking. These flows with volatile compounds present a serious health and damaging effect to particularly those people who have sensitive issues with their breathing and other allergies. The light and noise trespass is of grave concern to the citizens in this valley. We would lose what is now makes the valley pristine and peaceful. Our roads and streets are now becoming more and more dangerous as we speak. It has potential of becoming more than 100-fold worse with sale of these leases. No doubt the existing land that now qualifies for drilling, we have what may be a grave and dangerous issue facing us. My question is local, state, and federal governments. Thanks.